Buenas tardes a todos. Nuestra siguiente exposición está a cargo de la Universidad de Twente, ubicada en Países Bajos, y estará a cargo de Jack Van, representante de dicha institución. No se olviden, por favor, a nuestra audiencia, pueden compartir sus dudas a través de nuestro chat de YouTube. Bienvenido, Jack. Adelante.
Thank you very much, Jessie. Yes, present here from Mexico City on behalf of the University of Twente, and I will now share my screen with you and hope that you will be able to see my presentation. Maybe you can confirm that with me. Is it okay? Can you see my presentation?
Sí, Jack, se ve. Por favor.
Thank you very much.
Usar pantalla completa, por favor.
I have that at the moment.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having us here for a presentation about the University of Twente in the Netherlands. I know I have only 15 minutes to do this presentation, so I will try to go relatively fast. And if you have any questions, of course, afterwards, you can ask them. In this presentation, studying in the Netherlands, why the University of Twente, master programs, after admissions, and contact details. We start with study in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands is famous for many things: windmills, battling against water, cheese, tulips, and also bicycles. Always a nice detail about Holland is that we have more bicycles in the country than people. We have about 17 million people and 25 million bicycles. The country is flat, and as a result, it is the best way to go from one place to another, especially because in cities, things are relatively close by. So looking at the Netherlands, here you see Enschede, and Enschede is in the east of the Netherlands, and we always call Netherlands the gateway to Europe. Our airport, Schiphol, has connections with all major airports in the world actually, but also within Europe, of course. And here with some facts about Holland. So the Dutch people, we are traders from origin, which makes us a very international country. We have always depended very much on countries like Germany, France, and the UK, and therefore we also speak in general several languages. Number one proficiency index in the world. So this means that we are the number one in the world when it comes to speaking English. The highest number of highest percentage is about 95% that speaks English. So also when you go out in the street, there is no problem at all, and all our education is in English. The quality of the education is very high. Our universities are in the top 200 of the world, and of course they differ in ranking and also on subject. And in Holland, we have very high living standards, an excellent infrastructure, and a safety network as well. The Dutch are the tallest in the world. In general, they are independent and they rank high in gender equality. This is something that we find very important. We respect privacy, not only ours, but also yours, and are very punctual, very straightforward. We love our coffee. And in general, we are the healthiest country in the world for diet, and cycling is very safe in the Netherlands as well. So of course, everything always has pluses and minuses. And when it comes to the minus part of this, it is always said that the Dutch are very direct. So we will always tell you what we think about things, and we will not beat around the bush so much.
Por favor, Jack, nos indican que estás en la diapositiva 1. Si pudieras, por favor, ir hacia la diapositiva en la que estás exponiendo.
Okay, that is strange because I have the.
Thanks.
I have a different slide here. Okay, I'm going to try to do this differently.
Excelente.
Is it better like this?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't use the slideshow as such. I will use it like this then. All right, so I showed you this slide. Then on this slide, there were some pictures, the windmills, the cheeses that I mentioned, tulips. Holland being the gateway to Europe. These were the points that I mentioned, and my apologies, I don't know why the slideshow did not work. And then I was in this slide about Dutch facts. Please let me know if it all works okay now, or if I have to change something else. All right, then so far about Holland, then why the University of Twente? University of Twente, the slogan of the university is high-tech human touch. We engage in groundbreaking, innovative research. We have profound societal impact, and we construct multidisciplinary answers to the grand challenges of tomorrow's world. So you will see in our university, it is a science and technology university, and we have very close relations with businesses who also are funding research that we do. And that is something that also helps us to be able to pay for scholarships. What University of Twente does, we empower students to make their own choices. So independency, like the Dutch have, we also find that very important to find that back in education. We find it important to be open and approachable. We like to discuss. We also like to hear other people's opinions. And we find it important to encourage students to explore new things. We offer a sense of community, and we provide room to make mistakes. Facts and figures about the university in 2021. We were 189 in the QS World University Ranking. We were elected the most entrepreneurial university in the Netherlands. And you can see here that we are very student driven. We have 11,000 students, a bit over, and that is also the size that we want to keep. Bigger universities in Holland will have between 20 and 30,000 students, and we are a science and engineering university, and we really want to remain a specialized university and go not over 12,000 students. However, of those students, 29% is international. And you can also see that we have quite a lot of student society. So when you go to our university, you will also see that aside from the studying, there is also a lot to do. This is on our campus because we are a campus university, and as such, we are also able to supply for the first year housing. So you might see this a little bit small, but that is not that important because, of course, we can always inform you about what you can do with us. And if you send us your information about yourself, what you want to study, what your background is, we can tell you also exactly what are the possibilities. But here you see the 5 big faculties. So we have behavioral management and social sciences. There is a big one always is business administration, but as you see, we have much more programs in there. We have engineering technology. We have electrical engineering, mathematics, and computer science. Then we have a department of science and technology. And last but not least, an important one is geoinformation science and Earth observations. We have some very specific programs in there, also very well funded, that have to do also with spatial engineering, can also be interesting for architects. The structure of the master programs. So if you look at business programs and more the social science programs, they are all 1 year, and most science and engineering programs are 2 years for a master. So if you are in the 1 year master, it is 60 credits per year. You have compulsory courses, elective courses, and a master's final project. And if you do a 2 year master's, in the first year, you will do the compulsory courses, then you will do your specialization and elective courses, then you have an internship, and that is something very specific, and in close cooperation, of course, with businesses, and then you have the master's final project. So everything is more smeared out over a longer period of time. The master's program choices. So you have a personal program here that I'm going to talk about, and requirements. So first you choose your master program. Then within that master program, you choose your specialization. And then within the specialization, you choose electives. It is important that you find an internship position and that you find an interesting master's thesis. Then the requirements for you as a student are that you are very proactive, that you are willing and able to communicate and to discuss with other people, are able to express your opinion, etc. And also very important is that you are good at planning. The master courses are relatively intense. You will see that the level of study is simply different than in the university that you have done so far. And it is very important that you learn independently how to plan for your study. So a teacher will not so much take you by the hand and guide you through the process step by step, but he will simply say, this is the goal, I am here to help you, but let me know if you need your help, and these are the steps that you should take. So it is much more about independent learning, and you can also, let's say, exactly make the master as you want it to be, because you understand that within the master program you have your specialization and then electives, so that makes it very personalized. During the courses, there is help for you. So even though it is very independent, there is definitely help for you. You have a program mentor, you have an internship coordinator, then you have a thesis supervisor, and there is also the study counselor advisor. So these people are all there for you to approach. But again, the initiative to ask for help and to make sure that you make the right progress in your study, that is with you. Admission requirements. Diploma required for admission is a 4-year bachelor degree with a final cumulative grade point average of at least 14 out of 20, so 70%. If you want to apply for a scholarship, you will see that for a scholarship you will need at least 80–85%. Specific requirements may apply to individual programs, of course, so this is a generic. Then the English language certificate, IELTS 6.5, TOEFL, internet-based, the IBT of at least 90, and also the Cambridge KC is allowed to be able to enter. Tuition fee and deadlines. So at this moment, since we are at the end of November, it is best to focus on September intake, because for the February intake, you see here the deadline of 1 October has already passed. But if you would be interested in the year after, of course, then it can be relevant again. But for the September intake, the deadline is the 1st of May. It is, however, important to realize that the first scholarship deadlines are the 1st of February. And therefore, you need to be admitted to the program to be able to apply to the scholarship. And therefore, it is important to realize that you can best apply before mid-December already. So literally, for the first round of scholarships, the best thing to do is to apply within a couple of weeks. And of course, we are very happy to help you with your application. Scholarships on our website, and you see here the link to it. On our website, there is a scholarship finder. You can simply select indeed that you are from Peru, level of study and the program, but there are 2 important scholarships to mention, and I've mentioned those here in gray. The first one is the University of Twente scholarship, which is a scholarship of between 3,000 and 22,000 euros. So if you get the 22,000 euros, that is practically a full scholarship. Only for the best students and very motivated students, but they do exist. And here you see the deadline 1st of February and 1st of May. So there are 2 rounds for this scholarship. And in the first round, you will get a result. From the first round, you will get a result already in April. And people who are not selected in the first round, but might still be eligible, automatically go into the second round. This is also a reason why I always say it is best to go for the first round and to be one of the first to apply, to also know earlier if you get the scholarship or not. The second scholarship that is available is the Holland Scholarship. This is an amount of 5,000 euro. The deadline is the 1st of February, and you are able to combine scholarships at the University of Twente. So when you receive one, it does not mean anymore that you cannot get the other. You can apply to all the scholarships that are available, because departments also have scholarships, and you are able to have them next to each other, as long as, of course, as you are not making money. So studying in Holland at the University of Twente will cost about 24,000 euros for a full year, tuition fee plus living cost. So that will be the top of your scholarship that you can get. After admission, so services for international students, housing, insurance, introduction days, support, and you can learn Dutch. So this is just to show you that there is a lot of support after you have been admitted. And here on the right of this slide, you can see the cost of living per year. So for housing, about 5,500 euros is calculated, books and supplies 600, to have a bank account in Holland 50 euros, buy a second-hand bicycle, transportation by train to other cities. Then there is insurance, and for the visa you pay a one-off of 192 euros. The most important here is at the bottom, and that is in total to live. The cost of living a full year in Holland is set on 10,800 euros at this moment. So this has been set by the government. This is a requirement for you to be able to get your visa, and it is 900 euros per month, and that times 12 months is 10,800 euros. University is very student driven. Here you see how active students are in different societies, and just a few pictures to show you that. And you are going to find that there are quite a few Latin American students. So my name is Jack, and I'm based here in Mexico, working for the University of Twente, helping students like yourself to go and study there. And there's quite a lot of Mexicans in the University of Twente, but also from other countries from Latin America. And of course, it is very nice to see also the Latin American society. Latin American students in general are very active in the University of Twente. Then stay in touch. So here you see my last slide. Connect with us on social media. You can see that we are on Facebook and Instagram, of course. And most importantly, I would say that here in the bottom, you see two emails. The first one is study@utwente.nl. So then you will go to, let's say, a generic email from the university, and they will answer your questions, of course. And the one at the bottom in orange, holland@innovaeducation.com. That is us ourselves. And to quickly tell you about that, we represent 5 universities in Holland, and we help you to go and study there. No cost or obligation, because the universities pay for the service that we give you. The main thing is that your documents are perfectly in order. You need to have your degree certificate and your degree transcript translated, and we help to make sure that before you translate it, that you have the right document, that everything is perfectly in order. And then there are motivation letter, course descriptions. For Twente, not for all courses, you need reference letters. Sometimes just to have the referee, his contact details, etc., is enough. And of course, we help you gladly with to meet all the requirements and to check all your documents, English certificates, everything included. So if you would like that help, you can write to us at the email that you see here in the bottom. Until so far, that was 15 minutes exactly. So I guess back to you.
Thanks for your presentation, Jack. This information is important for our public. I have 2 questions for our public. What is the level of English to access master's degrees?
Okay, so I will go back to the level of English. Let me see if I can find it quick. So the level of English, you need to show that you have an English exam, an English test done. And I'm now looking for the slide where it exactly mentions that. And you need in TOEFL IBT, you need a minimum score of 90 points. And then it is also important to realize that the individual scores are important sometimes with speaking or listening, and an IELTS of 6.5, and then there's also Cambridge. The main thing to realize is that you have to do an English test to show your English level, to make sure that you will be able to understand, of course, everything that you need to understand at the course.
Thank you. The most demanded masters and doctorates at the University of Twente.
To understand the question well, which are the most demanded programs?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Let me look for the program overview, but I can already start telling you from the top of my head. So the University of Twente is very strong in engineering, and especially energy and environment engineering. This is very wanted at the moment in the whole world. We are all looking for alternatives ways beside of oil, of course. So we are very strong in that. Then we are very strong in civil engineering, and within civil engineering and management, we also have construction management and industrial, which is relatively similar. And then you will also see that we are incredibly strong in computer science, data science, things like that, business information technology, how to use the data, how to best collect it, how to best save it, and how to best analyze it. Those are the programs that I would say that we are most strong at.
Thanks, Jack. In the context of the coronavirus pandemic, what measures are behind taking?
Okay, so when it comes to COVID, it is all going up and down a little bit. On one point, it is all a little bit better than on the other. So in general, when the situation was very bad, the students were simply having online classes, and the normal classes were an absolute minimum. So let's say laboratory-based programs were, of course, then people still got together, but apart from that, most was online. So as the COVID situation is improving, it is now better. Most of the classes are completely, let's say, almost normal again. The only thing is that there is a rule for students not to be too close together. And the main thing is that those kind of classes, there are safety measures, like, of course, cubrebocas and things like that.
Thank you, Jack. De esta manera agradecemos a Jer Chakwan por esta presentación de la Universidad de Twente. A nuestra audiencia les pedimos por favor que esperen unos minutos, que a continuación tendremos la presentación de la Universidad de Birkbeck de Reino Unido. Muchísimas gracias, Jack.
De nada, muchísimas gracias también.
Pedimos disculpas a nuestra audiencia por motivos de fuerza mayor. Se cancela la exposición de la Universidad de Birbeck por motivos de fuerza mayor. Estaremos regresando a las 6:10 de la tarde con la presentación de la beca Generación del Bicentenario. Muchas gracias a ustedes. Pueden conectarse a las exposiciones en cualquiera de las 2 salas que hemos preparado para ustedes. Nos vemos.